You're listening to the Board Game Snobs podcast, a ridiculous podcast with ridiculous hosts that discuss ridiculous things. And any mention of board games is purely coincidental. And so, without further ado, and with a heavy dollop of shame and embarrassment on my part, I give you the Board Game Snobs.
And welcome to episode 355. Dan looks befuddled, bewildered. Primary guest host with me today because Jerry is out of pocket, not only in personality and attitude, but physically away from his podcasting studio. Daniel Hughes, thank you for joining me.
You're quite welcome. Where is Jerry? What's he doing? Is he building another house?
I think he's, quote-unquote, spending time with his family. I don't know what he's doing.
I could be doing that today, but instead I've chosen to spend it with you, Gaby.
See? You have your priorities straight. It's all about priorities. And you had yours straight.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to just let you know what's just happened in this recording session. I said to Gaby, look at my lovely painted office, which I don't know if you can see now, but it's a nice shade
I can see it.
Slate blue. And so he said, let me get you on camera. And then he hung up the phone call because the man can't tell the difference between a little red cross and, I don't know what he was meant to be clicking. But he's an idiot. He's an idiot.
I hit the big red X on the right upper hand corner.
Oh, of course. That is the universal sign for make the picture bigger. Why didn't I... Why didn't I think of that? I'm sorry. I misjudged you, Gaby. You're not an idiot. You're just someone who made a natural mistake.
I just kept saying to my computer, enhance.
It won't be long till that happens. In fact, I use Microsoft Edge because that's the kind of rebel I am.
Some AI?
Well, I don't know. Not this one. It was yesterday. That's an important fact for everybody listening at home. Yesterday, it came up with a little thing saying, connect Microsoft Edge to your microphone so you can talk to it while you surf the web. And I said, no, I don't want to do that. There's one thing I've learned from Alexa is that I don't like giving vocal commands.
Yeah.
I'd rather type for some reason.
Now, is that because you're afraid that Queen Elizabeth's son is listening to everything you say, or is it because you just don't like giving verbal commands?
It's because I don't like talking to people in general, and I've kind of expanded to because it almost takes longer to say something, and then you're going and all that kind of stuff. Whereas if you're typing, it's just easier.
Well, I guess the only thing for that is you can do it from anywhere in the room. You can say, "Hey."
Yeah. But then you have to say things like, "Play Deeply Dippy by Right Said Fred." No, Right Said Fred. And all that kind of stuff because it can't understand you.
Does it take into account for regional accents?
I presume so. I don't know.
Does yours greet you with hello?
Mine does because mine is Australian. Because I have mine set on the Australian accent because I find that because I use mine quite a lot for spelling. That's the main thing I use mine for in the office. I say, I won't say its name because it can hear me. I say, device, tell me how to spell diarrhea. Usually it's diarrhea, I must admit. And then it'll tell me how to spell diarrhea.
So do you find the Australian accent to be like the Southern accent in America as Australia is to England?
No. I don't quite understand. I find it pronounces the letters more clearly. So
you're saying it's a superior accent?
I'm not against Australia. I've got an Australian citizenship, as well. You know, my mother's Australian, and so I've got nothing against the Australians as a race. So yeah, I would say for clarity, in the case of Alexa, this is absolutely scintillating podcasting.
Well, that's what I expected when I brought you on here.
Yeah. I don't know. I really don't. As I keep saying, why you weren't nominated for the Golden Geeks, I have no idea. With this kind of exciting
stream of consciousness podcasting, where we literally we open our mouths and words fall out. Whether
not interesting words. That's the main fascinating.
No, they don't have to be interesting.
Any banal crap that happens to fall out of our middle-aged, white, male, white bread mouths. That's what happens. Nothing of any consequence, nothing of any interest, just a load of claptrap.
But you enjoy it. You enjoy talking. You just said you don't enjoy talking, yet here you are.
I do enjoy talking. It's the listeners I'm feeling sorry for. That's what I'm saying.
We kind of do it for the listeners, but it's mostly for ourselves.
All right, fair enough.
But other than that, yeah, you're. Are you going to show me your Lego people in the background? Let's kick it up a notch.
Absolutely scintillating
the Lego people
as
in
I
the
say,
background.
They're not Lego people. They're Lego cars. I've got this thing now where I'm making Lego cars, and I'll only show you a couple because otherwise it's going to be the entire podcast.
Well, I can see, I believe, Herbie from here.
You can see Herbie from here.
I see a Volkswagen.
Right. So what else can you see?
It looks like the Back to the Future car, the Ghostbusters, and the two on the right. Oh, the Batmobile, and I don't know what the Hummer-looking thing is.
It's not a Hummer, it's a van. It's black with a red stripe.
A-Team?
A-Team van, yes.
Okay. Oh, wow. This is for middle-aged. Even older than middle-aged.
Baby.
That's 80s.
I think I'm still middle-aged. Approaching 50 is middle-aged, isn't it? I'm not elderly yet. That's still middle-aged. But if you were,
I barely remember the A-Team. I just barely remember them. They were on when I was like...
How old are you? You're the same age as me.
I'm 48.
Oh, well, I'm 49, so obviously it was a year afterwards. And I've got a General Lee in the process of being built, which is a bit controversial.
Why do you say that? Stars and bars, you know?
No, well, it's not controversial to the UK because it doesesn't have the same kind of connotations, doesn't the whatever it's called, the flag? But it certainly is controversial. So, but I'm not in America, and to be honest, Gaby, I resent your cultural imperialism coming over here and taking over my enjoyment of little bricks that I buy from AliExpress from people who make them as slaves in China.
Where's your Larkford to Castleshire Lego set, or whatever that show was called? Lark Rise to Candleford. You've never heard of that?
I don't think they've got to be cars.
Well, they don't have cars because all of the shows from there are dated. They're all from the 17th century. Everything's Poldark and Downton Abbey.
Only the stuff you watch. I could have got. There's two cars that are available, but I decided against it because it's not from my beloved childhood. I have got a Smokey and the Bandit car on the way.
American,
by the way. Yeah, no, yeah. But I could get well, you won't know what I'm talking about. Well, you will. Mr. Bean car. There's a Mr. Bean car that I could have got, a Mini with a little armchair on the top. And there's, again, scintillating podcasting. And then I could have also got a Only Fools and Horses three-wheeler, which you won't know anything about at all.
I've never heard of that one.
No, well, so what's the point in talking about it, basically?
There are approximately 7 people that will enjoy that. Trust me.
There's more than 7 people in the UK that know what Only Fools and Horses are.
I don't know how many British listeners we have.
Well, you'll be able to tell by your stats. It's probably about 25%, so 0.25, I'm guessing.
Huh. Well, anyway, moving on, for the love of God.
Yeah, he doesn't like it when I talk about his listening figures.
For the How dare you?
That's the way to shut him up. Anytime you want to shut Gaby up, you just even mention the Golden Geeks or his listening figures.
I don't care about the Golden Geeks.
Oh, no, yeah. Oh, no, of course you don't.
I do not care.
No, you don't care at all. That's right. You don't care at all.
So I usually I had planned on because well, it doesn't matter. We thought Michael might be joining, but he bailed out.
We knew Michael wouldn't be joining us, let's face it.
And so I do the Antonin game because I know you like games, but I've done it many times. I've kind of went through all the games that I know to go through. I know there's thousands upon thousands, but I just didn't have time to look it up.
No, well,
but fine. I got 3. I got 3 for you. Let's see if you can. Let's see if you can guess that.
I don't play board games, by the way. Board games are for geeks and nerds, which are worse than geeks.
It's all the same.
Geeks are cool these days. Come on, do your quiz.
How dare you boss me on my own podcast? You're so bossy. I feel sorry for Michael. No wonder it's been sporadically. No wonder.
Yeah.
No wonder. Yeah. I don't blame you, Michael. I too would skip this podcast with Daniel on it.
How dare you?
Okay, antonyms. You know what antonyms are?
We played this game before, so I think
Opposites.
you say a bunch of random words, and then you claim it.
I claim they're opposites, but it's also opposite in principle.
Oh, you see,
it's opposite in ideologies.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
We'll try this one.
Okay, like quality and board game stops. Okay, go on.
All right, I've only got 3 to
Okay,
so let's muscle through.
Yeah.
The first one is my voice cracked just then. Stowaway to walk.
Ticket to ride.
Did you hear that?
No.
Oh, it was claps. Claps.
Oh.
You've got the claps.
Oh. What a comedy.
Oh.
Comedy.
That was another good one.
Well, you've got chlamydia, so screw you. Anyway.
All right.
Yeah.
Around the future.
Through the ages.
Oh.
Thank you.
More claps.
Thank you.
More claps for Daniel.
Yes, baby.
Full of them.
I'm doing better this time than I did last time. Last time I decided to claim that this game was broken.
This is good.
Which is a podcast that ended quite a few years ago.
Oh. Okay, now this is going to be the toughest.
10 years ago now it finished.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Why would they care then? About an old podcast.
About 8 years ago. It's a long time ago it finished.
Honestly, I don't listen, and I've never listened to it.
I hope
because you're not on it anymore.
15 episodes or whatever I was on.
You're not on it anymore.
Anyway, go on, carry on.
I discovered it.
This game is worthy of the current. This game is broken.
I discovered it post Daniel.
Oh well, you should listen. I'll tell you what. You should listen to the one with me and Mike on it. In fact, Mike did quite a few episodes, but we did a pop culture one that was good. Go on, carry on. Hurry up.
Okay, this is the last one.
All right,
and it's going to be the toughest.
Okay,
just break it down if you can.
I will.
Dumb, text, disperse.
Smartphone ink.
Very good.
How is ink different to disperse?
Well, incorporated apparently is like drawing together. I had to look that up.
I would have said pencil.
I originally had that, but it's not ink, I-N-K. It's short for incorporated.
Okay. But can we just all agree?
But I did have pencil originally written down.
Well, either way, I'd have got it because
you did.
Quite clearly, I'm very good at this game.
You are excellent. Good job.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah. I only know 3 games.
That's going
to happened to get those ones. Have you seen the new Agricola Game Found campaign?
Yes.
I object. I originally backed it, then I unbacked it because I thought, number one, there's too much content in there. They haven't drawn me in with the extra content. They've pushed me away because I thought there's just going to be a box of stuff that's going to break my shells and make me feel guilty for never playing any of it and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know how many cards and which expansion is the best. It's just been an absolute living nightmare. So I didn't back it for that. But then they've got this thing going where the campaign doesn't end. Every time someone backs it, it resets the campaign counter 10 minutes on. So it was meant to end on Friday, but it's continuing to go on because people keep backing it and adding 10 minutes to the end date. I object to that. I think that's horrible. I think it's all about... Because it always looks like it's only got 8 minutes left. So there'll be people going, I better get in quick before 8 minutes left, despite the fact there's going to be loads and loads of late pledges anyway. It makes a difference when you back it ultimately these days. But it's just nasty and cynical, and I'm glad I withdrew my pledge. The only reason I pledged for it is because I enjoy the Castles of Burgundy one. Oh, good for you! So I thought, I'll get that and then have 2 then. But I don't like Agricola as much as Castles.
Have you lodged a complaint against Mr. Pryor?
No, I haven't, but I did think about messaging him, and I thought, I haven't spoken to him for a couple of weeks, and the last time I spoke to him, I kind of let him down a little bit, so probably
How would you let him down?
Well, I was doing a D&D game for him and Max, but I got too much, so I ended up backing out, claiming that I'd...
You've been nothing but bad news for him lately, is what you're saying.
I've been nothing but bad news for him, and to hear me criticise his beloved employer would probably be too much.
He may call it off. He might call it off.
He might call a formal end to our friendship.
He might have the episodes of Well-Rounded Gentlemen expunged from the libraries.
Well, they are already expunged a long time ago because I'm not paying for them to be.
You're not paying them prices.
No, it's $5 a month. I'm not paying $5 a month for a podcast that no one listens to.
If they posted to Spotify, they're still on there.
Even if I don't pay the hosting anymore.
Yeah, because my old the podcast I had a love for, Disagreeable Nerd, which I talked about movies and TV. I stopped it, and it's still on Spotify. The episodes that posted to it, as well as YouTube. If it made it to YouTube with Spotify, they're still on there.
Yeah, well, YouTube. I didn't do it to YouTube. I had to do that. That includes filling in boxes and stuff like that. I'm going to search for it. Well-rounded. Again, scintillating podcast. You need to be filling here, not letting me just type.
No, well, you're talking while you're typing, and your typewriter's loud. It clacks.
Yeah. I've got.
Oh, he sees something. He's looking to his left, my right.
It's because I've got two monitors because I am like a tech bro.
I think you're fancy. Oh, look at you with your fancy monitors. Dual monitors. Yeah, must be nice. That's why you can't pay them prices. You spend it all on monitors, apparently.
I did not. It was only £15 secondhand. It was fantastic. Fantastic deal. I recommend 2 monitors to everybody. Again, I keep saying it, but I just like to point out how scintillating this podcast is.
This episode is going to be named
There's an episode of Board Game Snobs on here saying well-rounded gentlemen. It says, it's interesting. It tells you the listenership. It says 0 listeners on the book. But there's no...
That's double what I thought it was.
No.
Oh, well.
I didn't know they had thumbs down on Spotify. In fact, they haven't on any other podcasts. That's interesting.
Oh, that's where the puke emoji is on Spotify
now. You can post little comments underneath Spotify podcasts.
Yeah, feel free. Yeah, feel free to, if you're listening to any of our Spotify podcasts, leave us a note, a comment.
I'm gonna do one.
A review. All the above.
I don't know if it helps anything. The only ones I ever see are really popular ones, and there's like 2 comments underneath them, so it's not a popular feature. No. What is it with Spotify and starting to do all these podcasts in video? That really winds me up. I don't want video on my Spotify.
Well, and they also, I don't know if they still mind. Actually, somebody in our Discord, a relatively new listener, Mr. Logan something or other.
They're all relatively new listeners. Because you got rid of all the old ones.
They come and they go.
They come and go after about 2 episodes. It's just a constant churn. That's what happens.
As long as they keep getting new listeners, I rephrased.
Yeah.
So he asked about...
I searched for my name on your Discord and it came up a disappointingly few amount of times.
Discord?
On your Discord, yeah. I just like I do on the Board Game Barrage Discord occasionally because I am a member of that as well. So I go in, search Dan Hughes, realise there's no one talking about me, go away.
Sorry, I don't know what to tell you.
No,
you should primary guest host.
I'm irrelevant.
Often.
I used to be a name in board gaming, and now
somebody.
now I'm nothing. Absolutely nothing.
When your game comes out, everybody be talking about you again. Don't worry.
Oh, they'll be talking about Mike. He overshadows me yet again, despite me being the powerhouse behind this relationship.
Yeah, co-host of the Dice Tower.
Host of the Dice Tower. He wasn't a host of the Dice Tower when I first met him. He was a nobody like me. I brought him up through the ranks.
It was all you, Daniel. And what do you get? What do you get?
I don't even get a cut of his salary. You'd have thought I would do. A polite person would give me 10, 15%. I'm not asking for a great deal.
Percentage?
Yeah, but no.
Well, I need to see that contract he has with Dice Tower. Find out how much he's making. Go through all their W-2s and whatever they have for income tax. Get down to the nitty-gritty of the ins and outs of the Dice Tower finances.
It would be an interesting dive. It would be an interesting dive, though, isn't it? Who wouldn't like to know exactly?
Everybody talks. It's on all the subreddits. Where does he get all this money? How does he pay for all this? How's he funding all these things?
Well, you got the Patreon type thing.
If we whisper it,
we really shouldn't be talking about this. But I've got no inside information. Let me get it clear. But he does employ a lot of people, doesn't he? So he's got the Patreon money, and I think he does a lot of all these summer spectaculars and autumn spectaculars and stuff like that. They're all paid for, aren't they? That's all. I
would assume the conventions are a lot of money for them.
Yeah, you'd assume so, but you'd have thought it might be one of those things which doesn't make as much money as you think because it might I don't know.
This is tacky. Is this tacky? It's tacky to talk about. But everyone wants to know.
Yeah, of course we want to know. I want to know. I don't think it's tacky at all. I think, well, it is a bit tacky, to be fair. It's not tacky it is not tacky to talk about salaries. People should discuss salaries more often because that's how the man keeps you down by having this false.
If we all made the same amount, say
yeah. Well. Now we're wandering into universal basic income, and I am in favour of that. But I think that might be beyond the scope of your podcast. Everyone can see what my salary is because I work for the government and it is published.
Did you know?
I know a lot of things.
I bet you didn't know this.
I bet I did. Go on.
Though often pleasant to humans. Now, this is off of facts. Facts? F-A-C-T-S. Like, that's the facts.
Not like a fax.
Not like a machine. Not like a facsimile.
When was the last time you used a fax machine? I bet I used one more recently than you.
A couple years ago.
Oh, that's about the same as me. Never mind then. Go on.
Though often pleasant to humans, the smell of freshly cut grass is actually a plant's way of letting out a cry for help.
Now, I would like to say that is bull. I don't know how. That's bull. That's bull. But cry for help. Cry for help for who? Who's going to come running to their rescue? What's the rest of the grass going to do? Run away? No, it's not a cry for help. That's just facts.com is a bunch of talk. Is what it is.
You're arguing against science, Dan.
I'm not arguing against science. Why? It's not a
fact.
This is why Jerry can't stand it. Because you come up with these ridiculous statements.
I did not. That is science. That is a fact.
You've just taken what
plants feel feelings and cry.
No, they don't cry, and they. I don't care. They feel feelings. You're saying it's a cry for help.
That's what it is. They're yelling.
Now define what a cry for help is. What happens within a cry? This is. You see, I've got so much sympathy for Jerry. Everyone thinks Jerry is but he's not. It's just driven mad by the amount of rubbish that he has to put up with.
No, it's not rubbish.
Day on day. You are claiming this is
facts. I spit facts. That's all I do. I spit the truth.
The fact you are saying this is fact shows that you are full of it.
Did you know, Dan?
Cry for help. Who are they crying for help? They're not expecting someone to come, and they can't warn other beasts.
I saw those trees in Lord of the Rings. Maybe the trees are going to come help them.
Well, they're not going to, are they? And
what's the most famous tree you know of?
The tree at Sycamore Gap, which was recently cut down, but it was in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, and it's quite famous within the UK as being a very.
I bet it let out a big cry for help.
Well, there was a big public scandal because it's on Hadrian's Wall, which I've walked actually, which is the wall that the Romans built to separate Scotland from England.
Rocky yelled that during his last fight.
I don't think it was the same Hadrian. I could be wrong.
He was hollering for the wall.
Who knows? I don't know if he was shouting for an ancient Roman emperor, but he could have been. To be fair, and this is the difference between you and me. I'm willing to admit that sometimes I don't have all the facts, but yeah. And there's also Major Oak, which is another Robin Hood tree, but that's over in Nottingham, and that's really old.
So why did they chop it down if it's famous?
Because they were vandals and they were angry at the council. So two people came in the middle of the night and chopped it down. They've recently been imprisoned for doing such
as
things.
They should be. That's outrageous. Why harm nature?
It is outrageous. People were very upset about it. Yeah.
Most famous tree I know is it the General Sherman? It's either the Sherman or the General. It's a sequoia.
It's a tank. You're thinking of a tank.
No, it's the General Sherman sequoia tree in California that I believe you can drive a car through.
Yeah.
One of those.
We can drive a car through a lot of trees, but usually small ones, and they're not very healthy afterwards.
No, this one you can drive through it, and it's still living, and it's thousands of years old. I had heard there's some tree, I don't know where it's at, in Egypt somewhere that supposedly, but it's kind of like it's connected to like this conglomerate of trees that are kind of bushes. It's like thousands and not even like supposedly the oldest tree in the world, like a root system that's the oldest system in the world.
I understand it.
It might even be called like the Methuselah tree or something like that. The Methuselah bush.
I'm going to Google it with my noisy keyboard. Keyboard? Keyboard.
But I can imagine that tree's loud cry for help.
Tree in the
So see,
world.
you say you're like, all right, well, you're supposed to be vamping while I'm looking stuff up, but you're typing as you speak.
What, me?
It makes it hard.
Well, it's because I I know that one of us.
Can you type and not say what you're typing at the same time? Can you silently type?
No. No.
Can you read to yourself without saying the words out loud?
Sometimes. You're right. It is a Methuselah tree.
Of course. See? Facts.
But it's in California, USA.
Oh, okay.
Actually.
There it is.
It's near, which is quite near Egypt.
Okay, so I got some things wrong. How old is it?
How old is it? Your mother is so old. 5,000 years old.
Wow.
Its exact age and location are kept confidential. It's to protect it from vandalism, which is very wise considering the fate of the sycamore gap tree.
See, when this comes out, you'll hear this all in post, and the tree says,
I am the last one.
That's what happened when I cut it down. If only you could hear the things that are coming through my earphones.
I'm Dan Hughes.
Okay. It's okay.
Yeah, well, probably, yeah.
It's gonna be good. You'll love it. You'll love it.
Well, I don't listen to this podcast, so we'll... They are almost professional level comedians. Evan usually listens and he tells me which ones are worth listening to. And he hasn't said anything. He hasn't said anything for about 6 months, so I don't know what that's about.
Evan, you better listen.
He does listen. He does listen.
Okay, well,
he's in Prague at the moment. He's finished all his exams. His 18-year-old exam, not 18. He's 18 and he's done the exams you do when you're 18, the A-levels they're called. And he's gone interrailing across Europe. So he's been to Berlin, he's gone to Prague, he went to Brussels, all over the place.
Is this what y'all call what is it y'all call? Like when you take a year off from college?
Europe? No, it's not a gap year. No, it's just like 2 weeks. He's just doing a bit of holidaying.
That's what the words you're saying are foreign to me as an American. That sounds very nice. I wish I could do such a thing, but
it's actually quite cheap to get to Europe on the plane and stuff.
I read that show I watched. That's Ayawade. What's his name?
A Travel Man.
Yeah, he does that. He does the 48 hours, and everything's very close flights from England, which is nice.
Yeah.
So how far is Prague? Do you take a bus or a train or fly?
No, well, you could take a train, but it'd take you a long time. You usually fly. I've been to Prague. It's beautiful, Prague. Beautiful city.
It's you're going a little far east for me there. Getting a little too far east. It makes me nervous.
What's wrong with the
Albania?
East?
You're getting way too close over there to Putin, Russia. To the big Putin man.
Yeah. Well, it used to be a part of the USSR, I think, did Prague. I don't. And there was something called the Velvet Revolution. I seem to remember. I can't remember. I'm not. I'll type it into Google Maps, see how long it will take me to drive there. Right, Google Maps. Directions to Prague.
That's why somebody somewhere should just make a podcast show of Googling things and then just orally communicating to their microphone everything they Google and everything they read. Just any question that pops into their head.
Yeah. The Google show. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
You pay for the hosting.
Research indicates that cats given empty boxes are more interactive, friendly, and comfortable with the people around them than compared to those without a box. This suggests that cats find comfort and security in boxes.
Wow. Who paid for that research?
Factsweird.com.
I bet they didn't pay for it. It would take me 16 hours and 6 minutes to drive to Prague, but there would be a ferry involved.
That's like from here to Colorado for me.
Yeah. So,
what does the ferry
Belgium
cross?
And Germany.
Does the ferry cross the Mesopotamian Sea?
No.
The Aegean Sea.
It could do, but it'd be a long way around. Goes across the English Channel between France and England.
How come it's not the French Channel?
Well, because we are better.
Is there like a natural rivalry between the English and the French?
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. The two nations that have only not been at war for the last 100 years. Prior to that, we've always been at war. So there is there's and even now there's still a rivalry between France is always messing with our stuff.
You know what? It's everyone always talks about the French cuisine and how it's supposed. Everybody holds it on high. And I don't know that I may have had something French, but it's very few and far between. If at all, I mean.
No, I don't think they really do fast food stuff, do they? That's the thing. I don't think they. I don't know what.
It's all high end.
It's all high end. French bread, I suppose. A baguette.
Yeah.
That would be.
Like, is there like a good
nice? Cheeses. And there's some nice French cheeses. Not as good as English cheeses.
A sandwich
obviously.
that the French are famous for. A croissant sandwich.
Brie, probably a brie sandwich. Croissants. There's another one. Pain au chocolat. I do like a pain au chocolat.
I don't know what that is. Sounds like chocolate, though.
It is. It's like a croissant with the chocolate in it. You must have pain au chocolates.
I don't know what you're saying.
What?
No,
they are nice. They're like it's like a croissant, but it's kind of got almost Nutella running through the middle. So like a very melty chocolate. It's very nice. You should come over to the UK, Gaby, as I keep telling you. In fact, this week, not yesterday, I had a friend from America come and visit us to see me. He was a man who I walked Hadrian's Wall with, in actual fact. About
the name that Rocky shouted. That's interesting.
Yeah, 15 years ago I walked it. So, you should come over.
Why is Hadrian's Wall famous? What's the deal?
It's a wall that, it still exists, which is part of it. So it's a Roman wall that you can still see big chunks of. So that's and it ran the entire width of the UK to keep the Scots out of England because the Scots were very troublesome to the Romans. So they put up a wall, a bit like the Great Wall of China.
Were the Scots considered savages?
Very much, and still are.
Richard Simpson, you hear that? How dare you?
Yeah, I don't think Richard can work a podcast player. So
with his club hands.
Yeah,
he's
with
too
his
busy,
club hands and his
too busy
wild red hair and his kilt and his sporran.
The wild look in his eye. So,
I find the Scots and the English are about a war quite nearly as often as the English and the French.
Well, maybe the common denominator is the English here. I see.
We're very good at wars, or used to be.
Very
used
angry.
To be not. Yeah, very, very, very wary. We were. I'm very good at winning them. In fact, we're still quite good at winning them.
Yeah.
The only wars we don't tend to win are ones that America involved in.
Well, that tell you. Watch what you say, Daniel.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying, I just don't think Iraq and Afghanistan were massive successes. That's all.
I don't.
But according to J.D. Vance, England and France weren't involved in Iraq or Afghanistan because we haven't fought a war since the Second World War. So all those people those UK people who died are completely inconsequential.
It's American history.
Yeah.
If we don't like the way the American history went, we rewrite the books.
Yeah, baby.
That's I always find it fascinating. Literally the history I grew up learning is completely just everything's thrown out the window.
But that's the same with all. That's the same with. I mean, that's the same with all history.
All the people we looked up
literally written by the victors.
Yeah. All the people we looked up to were terrible people.
Yeah.
I believe at one time when I was in school, like Colonel Custer's last stand, a brave soldier fighting courageously to the end.
He was interesting though. There's a really good podcast, a really good series of podcasts on him on the Rest Is History podcast, which I recommend anyone listen to. And he was an interesting character and quite an entertaining character. But no, yes. Well, he was he was involved in a system. This is the problem with singling out like people like him as being evil, which I'm not saying he wasn't. He participated in it, but the entire system was evil.
Yeah.
And let's face it, everyone's system
just everybody trying to kill everybody else. That's not that's
which
in
has
their
been
way.
The entire of history from
right.
time immemorial.
That's in their way, or that's not like them. That's mankind's history.
Yes, I think to stop them, we should kill them.
All of them.
All of them. Yeah.
And then where would we go?
Well, we could just stay in our attics, podcasting to audiences of zero. So pretty much what you're doing now.
Every chance you get,
Every chance I get, baby.
Every chance you get.
And if you're not leaving this podcast weeping, then I consider my job.
You bring me such joy. I could never weep at your presence.
Yeah. Have you done any board? Are we talking about board games in this podcast? I haven't done any board games.
I have played several solo games. No, I haven't been able to get with anybody since we went to BGG Spring. I have since played Maquis. Speaking of,
we've talked about that before.
I didn't care for it.
That was running on Kickstarter at the same time as CoraQuest, so I consider it a rival.
A rival, of course you do. Everybody's a rival to the English, aren't they, Dan? If you're not with me, you're against me. Yep.
Certainly, but I don't know about the English, but certainly me. Yeah,
and
I can list you off my other rivals. I can list Flamecraft. I hate those. How dare they earn more money than CoraQuest?
Be successful.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even like the art. Everyone says how the art's great. I think it looks awful. It looks like it's from an 80s greeting card.
I never played it, if that makes you feel better.
I've only played it once and it was bad, but there was too many people playing and I wanted to eat and all sorts of things. So it was at Dice Tower Retreat, actually, the first time I went. And, didn't enjoy it. But Mike tells me I'm wrong, so.
The Maquis, I didn't care for it. It's, you're supposed to complete 2 missions, and you literally just put some cubes out, and then you have to bring them back to your hideout without your trail to the hideout getting blocked. And the way you block them is you flip over a card, and it tells you to put these cubes in these certain cities. And if they're in the cities blocking your way home, well, then that cube, I forget the name of whatever your cube represents, the Maquis, they get captured. And if all your Maquis get captured, game over.
Right.
All of my Maquis got captured all the time. I never made it home with anything.
That's the problem with solo games, I think. And it's probably why I don't enjoy them very much, is because they're always hard. And if they're not hard enough, solo gamers say, oh, this isn't hard enough, it's too easy.
Right.
But when I'm playing against people, I don't mind if I don't win, but I get to do something. Whereas in a solo game, if you don't win, then the entire thing was pointless. I don't know. I don't get the same kind of creative, juice from a solo game as I do from playing against.
If you want some creative juices from a solo game,
I do. Oh,
Long Haul 1983.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember. Benjamin did a podcast on this on 5 Games for Doomsday.
I don't listen to 5 Games,
in which he also recorded himself playing the game. But of course, he's very theatrical. He really got into it. But me playing it, I did the part because what you do is it's 1983. I can't remember. You go to sleep and you wake up the next day and everybody's gone.
Oh,
it's post-apocalyptic, of course. So you get in your truck. You're on your way to have delivered something. And then after that, you're going to go, after you've delivered your goods, you're headed to this person and everything is up to you. Why are you headed to this person? Well, that's up to you. Do they owe you money? Is it a long lost love?
Oh, it's like a solo role-playing game.
Yes, it's an RPG. And they present to you all these scenarios that you're going to this person because, and they give you like 10, 12 reasons why you're going to them. And you can either choose it, or I did like Benjamin did, and he rolled a die and let the die determine why he was headed to him. The one it chose for me was the person owed me money. And then the other one that rolled for me was like, but there's a force, there's something chasing you that you don't know what it is. It's just this force that you can kind of feel, and it's vague. And then you flip over these cards from a random standard 52 card deck, and you flip over 3 cards each time. You start your engine, you flip over 3 cards, you look up the book, what those cards tell you, and it's going to be things like, oh, there's something that is ailing you. The 10 of Hearts will say, roll a dice check to see if it's hurting you worse. And it's all very vague. A lot of it is like, you feel something bothering you. Explain what that is and why. Like, it's all up to you to create the story, basically.
Yeah. It's like a guided story.
Yeah.
You feel something bothering you. You look at the radio.
Exactly.
You realize you've left Board Game Snobs.
And it gives you these...
on your iPod.
It gives you these prompts. And so by the time you look up, this card tells you you're feeling bad. This card tells you like what the weather is. This card can tell you what's wrong with your truck. And then it kind of gives you, with those 3 cards, like a little story for the day. And you can feel free to expound on that as much as you want to. It's interesting. I recorded 3 of them because you're supposed to record at the end of the day, you're calling the person you're headed to. So the person I was headed to, I made it Gerald Baker's ship, very original. So I was like, because he owed me money. And so like, well, then it's like, well, why does he owe me money? So I had to like do a little background on why he owes me money. It's because I gave him some money previously to help fund some, health concern he had, just or you could just make it as outrageous as you want to. But I tend to draw from things I know personally, or otherwise I just get outlandish and make everything a stupid comedy. So Jerry got on to me last time I did a RPG with him because he said I just tried to make everything funny. And it was supposed to be like dark and scary. It was that 10 Candles RPG.
The problem with dark and scary in role-playing games is they're no fun as far as I'm concerned. If you're not trying to make everyone laugh, what's the point in playing?
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't like all this deep role-playing stuff. I find it, number one, I find it pretentious. Number two, I think other people are better at making... I think Stephen King is probably better than making a scary story than I am. But what he's not better at is making a load of in-jokes and just messing around.
Well, yeah, so that's it. I mean, I can see there are, like Ben, like he's considers himself an actor, a theater guy.
Wow.
Just kidding.
I hope you don't listen to this.
I haven't heard from Ben in quite some time. I don't think we're in his...
Well, when do I?
I'm not in his sphere anymore. Love you, Ben. I really do. You're still the voice of our podcast. No, I know he's an actor. He's very theatrical, and he really got into it. I'm not that guy. I'm like you said, I want to make the jokes and cut wise and bust chops, and that's just not me. I'm not like, and as the day wears on and the light dims, I feel an aching in my bones that tells me things aren't going well. And, it's just, I can't. It's not for me. I see it. I appreciate it. Just, it wasn't for me. I played 3 turns of it. You can play it as long or as short as you want, or you can finish it all in one go. But I just, that was good. I was good with it.
Yeah, I had one. I backed on kick. Whenever I run a Kickstarter and if it funds, well, not that I've ever had one that hasn't funded. Not saying I'm a Kickstarter genius, but
sounds like it.
I tend to back 3 or 4 very small projects just to kind of, I don't know why I do it, just to alleviate some, I don't know if it's guilt or whatever. But anyway, and I backed a solo role playing game. And I did have a go at it, but it's not. I don't like social activities solo. I don't play board games for the. Well, I must play board games for the challenge, but I think I must need somebody there. But yeah.
I like the idea. I love RPG. Like, I wish we could play more role-playing games.
I invited you to play an RPG, didn't I?
Yeah, but I just know that to coordinate time and all that stuff, especially with you being across the ocean, would be nigh impossible.
Yes, and I after about 10 sessions, I ended it, so you probably were wise.
Typical dad.
But, well, yeah, but better to love the lost than never to have loved at all. That's what I always say.
But I do have another one sitting on my shelf that's a Star Trek game, and it's a Star Trek solo.
I once played a Star Trek game when I was in university, a role-playing game, and for some reason I was the captain, and I was a huge ball of indecision, and it made me realise that I could never be in a position of command, because the thought of telling other people what to do and it going wrong left me in such a quivering wreck, even though it was only a role-playing game, that I realised that role was not for me.
I wouldn't mind doing it. This is a Star Trek Captain's Log, a solo role-playing game. And this thing is...
Do you know why it's a solo role-playing game?
Massive. It's 320 pages.
Because people who like Star Trek don't have any friends. That's why it's a solo game.
Star Trek is amazing.
Oh, is it though?
It is.
Is it?
It is.
Even now? It's like Star Wars.
Strange New Worlds is the newest and possibly one of the best iterations of Star Trek.
They dilute it so much that what's the even point of it?
It's all about diversity and getting along with people even though you don't understand them. And
I appreciate the sentiment behind it, but do you not think that all these franchises are diluted to the point they just keep on going and going? I mean, you know why they do it? It's for money, but they just keep on going and going and going and new versions and throwing stuff at the wall and seeing if it sticks.
Strange New Worlds. I didn't go in. Okay, so the last few, I was not a fan of Enterprise with Scott Bakula, aka Quantum Leap.
Scott Bakula is a god.
I like Scott Bakula. I was a Quantum Leap fan when I was 8 years old.
I was a big Quantum Leap fan.
But what was his? Sam Beckett. That's who he was in that.
Yeah.
So
they rebooted it, didn't they? I never saw any of that.
It was awful. It was god awful. I tried watching it. Speaking of what you're talking about, rebooting, sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it's terrible and it doesn't have the heart and soul of the original.
No. Like the new MacGyver. I watched that. That was awful.
But Strange New Worlds, I really like. And it's in large part due to a likable cast. And that's the thing. So many shows nowadays have these characters that are they're terrible people.
Yeah.
They're terrible people.
It's all about the conflict and stuff like that. I agree. I need a hero. I'm holding out for a hero until the end of the night, usually.
Like, I mean, if you like, I don't know, like the big hits over here, they're not like massively general popular, but they're popular and very like Succession. I don't know if you heard of that show.
I have heard of Succession, and no TV program is massively popular anymore because it doesn't exist,
right.
because the market's too fragmented.
But
you will never get another Friends. You'll never get another
right. Correct,
all that
sir.
kind of stuff. Yeah.
But in the zeitgeist of certain whatever circles. So Succession, just like, they win all these Emmys and stuff, full of all these billionaire characters that are absolutely horrendous people. Yellowstone, all these greedy people, they're flawed, blah, 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 terrible people. It's just all these shows that that's why I like Strange New Worlds. They're good people trying to do good things for the betterment of mankind.
Yeah. And that's why I don't like the Board Game Snobs podcast, because there's just no one likable in it. That's the problem. That's the problem with it. They're just all these really nasty, just constant conflict all the time.
No,
there's bullying
certain episodes of which we learn from and grow from, Daniel.
Oh, right. Okay. Because when I first started listening about 5 years ago, there was all these huge arguments and stuff.
No, there was not.
and it's strange that he doesn't seem to have moved on from that.
No. We may have some general friendly arguments now and then.
Yeah.
They did get more heated in the late 23, early 24 season, but we got that taken care of. We got. Do you never have disagreements on points of view?
I usually cut people from my life as soon as I have any kind of disagreement with them. That's probably genuinely honest. To be honest, I am done with people quite easily. Yeah.
Guess I better be on my P's and Q's around old Daniel Hughes.
Well, yeah.
See how I rhymed that? Do you like people that rhyme things?
Well, it's better than the usual rhyme with Hughes, which I get.
Shoes.
No, it's Poos. Poos is the
snooze.
Daniel the Spaniel and Hughes Poos. That's what I used to get at school.
I can see it did not affect you at all.
No. The fact I rarely leave my attic unless I have to go to work
and cut people immediately from your life that make things difficult.
Yeah.
People that make things difficult help you grow.
Well, I'm already big enough. And anyway, I don't need that stuff in my life. Life's hard enough without having arguments all the time.
It's not all the time.
No, just 90% of the time.
Keep things spicy. Also, what I've been playing, since you've been playing nothing, apparently.
Is this podcast still going?
Have you been playing anything?
Yeah, I played something with Mike the other day. I do. The only person I play with is Mike the Pillock Pool, and I can't remember what the last thing we played was. We played some nice small game. We played Meadow. That's what we played recently, but that's not a new game. I've got the new Frank West game, Emberleaf, that arrived the other day. I haven't started playing that yet, but it's getting some good buzz, so I'm looking forward to it.
I just played that Hutan Life in the Rainforest on BGA, where you're laying these flower cards in the rainforest, and you're trying to make the flowers match, and it's one of those is it polyomino or tetranomino? Whatever, the Tetris style.
Yeah, polyomino.
In your lane, you're trying to get your flowers to match, and it's one of those calming type games. You're trying to get your flowers to match, and if you double up on a certain spot with white flowers, then you grow a tree. And if you get 2 trees in a sector or all trees in your sector, you get an animal. And it's
That's all very well, but when do you get to colonize them and kill the natives?
See, that's why I'm only giving it a 6, because
if there's not any pillaging of natural resources,
there's no pillaging of the land. I've lost interest.
Exactly.
It's not a game I would ever purchase or buy, or really ever. I played it solo, and it's just meh.
You're allowed to pillage and be awful and kill people as long as it's anthropomorphic animals.
Exactly.
That's the new rules.
That's right. Or aliens.
Every game has to be anthropomorphic animals, so we don't have to worry about any kind of politics whatsoever. Just stick that head in the sand, pretend it doesn't happen, and make them all raccoons. That's what I say.
I agree. I agree. And the other game, I would say not the big game, but it's an old game that is very well regarded, that I've been yearning to play for a while because A, I like baseball. B, I used to like solo games. Is Baseball Highlights 2045.
I love that game.
Did you play it solo?
No.
I don't like it solo. And it's a huge solo game. People love this game.
Oh, right. Okay. Did you know this is now straying into interesting, so I don't know if you might want to cut this.
All right. And that's going to do it for the show.
Yeah. The football 2045, or whatever it's called. That due to my efforts, has a team in it which is a Huddersfield team. So there you go.
There you go.
I presume it's due to my efforts.
Oh, so this was interesting because it involved you.
That is the definition of interesting.
Okay, so let me look up some Paris, Texas facts. Did you know there's a movie called Paris, Texas?
Yes.
It's a very famous movie as well. I started watching
I've heard of it.
It's one of those kind of like disturbing movies. It's like an old, weird movie.
There's a Paris in Huddersfield.
But it's not Texas related, though.
It's not Texas, it's Paris Huddersfield. Well, it's actually Paris Home First.
But anyway, so get back to baseball highlights real quick.
Geez, we still talk about this, yeah.
I'm just going to say, because solo, I had a hard time keeping track of what I just played for who. Like the AI, was this the AI's turn or was it my turn?
The big problem with the game is have you played it multiplayer?
I just did, and that's what I was going to say. I enjoy it much more. 100% more with another player. However, we still were getting, like I was trying to, oh no, these are the steps you're supposed to follow them to if you went through them, it's a little, but it kind of got that bogged it down as opposed to him just flipping over his card. Okay, so my hit still counts. No, wait, is this the card I played? So is it, I kind of lost track of when my runners were running.
So it's not really a game for people of subnormal intelligence, but not.
It's very
difficult. People who can work out the difference between 2 different cards, they'll be a lot better at it.
So somebody said, oh, Football Highlights fixed this by simply twisting the card sideways.
You see,
just
exhaust. That's a bit much for you, though, isn't it? That's one mechanic too many.
Exhaust the card by turning it sideways. I was like, oh, that's genius. Yeah, it was very hard for me to keep track of when I played my card, but I did enjoy it with 2 players a lot.
No, I really enjoy it. I played it, first time I played it, and really the only time I played it much is with Berkey. Do you know who Berkey is? He makes board game tables.
Is that I think he's the guy.
He used to be like the Royals. He used to have.
I met him at my first BGG con ever.
He's a nice man.
And I think I won my free games of Royals from him.
It was Royals is a good game.
It's one of our all-time. It's in our Hall of Fame of games for the board game snobs. That everyone that is trying to introduce anybody to board games should show them Royals because it's a very simple game.
Yeah, it's really good, and it's kind of Ticket to Ride level, but deeper than it's just really fun. It's just a really good game.
Arcane Wonders, yeah.
Yeah. It's a Dice Tower Essential, I seem to remember.
Yeah, and I was trying to figure out why he was involved in it, because he gave me the game.
Because he looks like, because he did a promotion for it. I think he was involved with the Dice Tower at the time, and he's like a actory type person. And they I don't know if they paid him, but they got him to be their kind of spokesman. So he used to go around dressed as a king and all that kind of stuff.
I do remember him.
Probably just knew people who knew him, but he's a nice man. He also used to make spices. Called Happy Mouth Spices, and he gave me a free sample, and it was lovely.
All right, well, that's we made it to a reasonable point in time where we can end the podcast if you want to.
Oh, is that what it was? I wondered what the last 15 minutes were. It was just as desperately trying to get to a point in time. Fair enough.
We've got to wrap up board games into the title of the podcast somehow. So something
yeah. Well, I did attempt to by whinging about the Game Found campaign, but you wouldn't engage. So
no, I heard you. I don't want you to destroy one of your only lasting remaining relationships.
Yes, that's very fair. It's very fair.
I'm looking out. See, I'm a good person. I create relationships. I don't destroy them.
But what kind of relationships? That's the
toxic, mostly.
Toxic, codependent relationships.
Oh, miss you, Jerry. And on that note, Daniel.
Yeah.
Is there any episodes of Sporadically Bored coming out anytime soon?
Well, there might have been today if Mike had got his. Well, to be fair, we neither of us. No. We haven't got any planned. And then when Mike said he was free today to join this podcast, I went, well, hang on a second. If you're free today and I'm free today, why aren't we recording our podcast?
Yeah, you tried to edge me out. I see.
Well, I was, yeah. Well, you can't complain about us not podcasting, and then. Anyway, but no. Well, there will be one soon. We're not finished. It's just Mikey's just so busy.
I know. He's making all them big bucks as we discussed earlier.
Exactly, and we need to know. We need to find out how much
from millionaire Tom Vessel.
Millionaire Tom. Well, they've all moved, haven't they? They've all moved.
Oh yeah,
probably
because of the. I'm sure it's the tax brackets where they moved to is much better.
I think. Well, I don't know how much I'm allowed to say.
You better not say anything.
Yeah, but I suspect where they're moving to is cheaper than where they moved from.
I'm sure. With an expanding empire, you got to learn to.
Yeah, and they've got their own kind of big office now and things like that. So
HQ.
So, yeah.
I'm sure it's going to be a 10-story building before too long. A literal tower.
It's only a matter of time till I'm employed by them. And let me tell you, Tom Vassell will regret every single second that he did of that, because I have no work ethic and don't like doing anything solo. And
if you disagree, you cut people out.
Cut people straight out. So Tom Vassell will be out the door. Say, I don't like your hat. Get out. And I wouldn't talk to him for the rest of my employment there, which would be very short, I suspect.
The most briefly tenured employee of the Dice Tower, Daniel Hughes. Notable for something, at least.
I'm notable for a lot of things.
Well,
none of it good. Go on, end the podcast then.
I'm trying. That's going to do it for episode 355, Daniel.
That's what I nearly said. That's almost like one a day. You haven't got much longer till it's one a day.
Ridiculous. Daniel, thank you for having nothing else much to do in your life and leaving your wife hanging as you come home from work. And instead of joining her, you joined me on a podcast for over an hour, and now it's very late at night. And see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Entry-level knowledge, expert-level nonsense, discussing anything and everything, and sometimes board games. Sometimes Enrique shows up